Hi, today I thought I'd take a look at a Christmas wish book from 1986, but skip ahead to the toys of Christmas because really, I remember Christmas 86 and Christmas in the 1980s as a kid, and I remember all of the toys I wish I had, and we're going to take a look at those. Here at page 45, we have, a digital watch, and we got some stockings. Um, Here's like a little car set. Um, Let's Race, a great stocking stuffer, drag wasters. So I guess it's a belt that you put these cars on. Comes with two metal sports cars that attach to a magnetic buckle with Velcro fasteners. What dorky kid walked around with a belt with like cars fastened to his belt? So funny. Um, Here down here is something called Time Shock. This looks like what's the name of that game where it's Perfection? Is that what it's called? This looks like Perfection. I don't know if it's a ripoff of Perfection. It's a race against time as you position geometric forms. When the built-in timer runs out, the works are scrambled and you start again. You've got some remote control cars from back then. To the left is a variation of the watches that transform. This one transforms into like some sort of bug or something. Um, and to the right, Mad Ball's like braces or something like that. Freaky fun for boys and girls. The Mad Balls faces on these kidneys, padded knee and elbow pads are the new look kids love. Yeah, I mean, Mad Balls was a brand of just balls that were ugly like that. But I didn't know they made things like this where there were like, um, knee pads and things that had the the Madball faces. They have the names here: Screamin' Mimi, um, Slobulus, and Hornhead. Pretty fun. Jumping ahead to T-shirts, here you have a whole bunch of brands of the '80s. The thing about the '80s was there's an explosion of brands that still kind of live on today. So you have Glowworm, of course, Teddy Ruxpin, which is sort of like gone now. Sylvester is from the past, but still relevant in the 1980s. And you see prices on the right here. Mad Balls, once again. Mad Balls taking the world by storm in 1986. Robotech. Robotech had just come over with Harmony Gold, bringing it to the United States. G.I. Joe, in a very jumbled graphic there. Masters of the Universe, of course, perennial in the 1980s. You've got Ultra Magnus with no name there, it's just Transformers. 1986, that's when that character was introduced with the movie and everything. And of course, Rambo. Um, Pretty cool stuff. And here you see Superman and Spider-Man. So you're not going to see a lot of Batman. Batman was a dormant franchise in the 1980s. People forget this. The Adam West show was in syndication, but Superman was white hot still from the Christopher Reeve movies, still in 1986. Kids wanted to be Superman and wear Superman clothes, the classic S there. Spider-Man was alive and well in cartoons, and of course the comics were doing great. There you see Tigra from Thundercats. And here you see more um, branded stuff. A lot of this, I mean, Teddy Ruxpin, you got this weird thing at number 5 there of He-Man characters, different characters, Too Bad and He-Man and everything on one shirt. That's pretty cool. Superman fighting a meteorite or something like that up top there. You've got Winnie the Pooh, perennial favorite. More Winnie the Pooh stuff to the left. Let's take a quick look at watches of the 1980s. Because you're going to see some stuff that intersects with toys. So this is all adult digital watches and things. There's one with like a calculator on it and stuff. This was like state-of-the-art stuff back then. And you see like ones with like classic faces, etc. And here are some of the prices back then in 1986. So you can calculate what it would be today. Look at this. So I didn't know this until I was going through these catalogs, but I didn't know they made Centurions watches. And basically, you could take these off, and they're figures, more or less. The arms can move, but look at this, awesome. And they tell the time on their chest there. But it's Max Ray and Ace McCloud and Jake Rockwell as watches. I don't. I think they were made by another company entirely. Just like licensing the thing. But that's pretty cool, man. That's awesome. I'm sure they're around today. You could probably pick one up on eBay somewhere, but this is fantastic. Um, that Transformer watch was a big deal back then. I had a blue one. We all thought it was part of the Transformers brand. It wasn't. It was to cash in on the Transformers. I'm pretty sure it was something ported over from Japan and brought here to cash in on Transformers. Here to the left at 6 and 7, you see video game watches. A big deal back then. It became even bigger in the 90s. I had a Castlevania watch. I could play Castlevania on it. And it was of this sort of stencil graphic style, right? So at 6, you got Pac-Man. And at 7, you have Q Bert. And at 8, you have Bubble Mechanical Analog Plastic Watch. And you've got some sort of a clock that's shaped like a football helmet. And then all these cutesy watches. I don't think watches that are just designed with cute designs and stuff like that are a thing anymore. This was a big deal in the 1980s. Here's a Monopoly watch. That's pretty cool. You could flip up that Monopoly box and you get the watch. That seems like a lot of work to do. But these were fun things kids had to tell the time. These teddy bear watches here. You see some of the prices down below. More watches. These are Cabbage Patch Kids watches. Cabbage Patch Kids, of course, I think 1983 was the big riots for Cabbage Patch Kids. They were still a big popular brand. I don't know how that little doll fits with the watches. I don't know if it comes with anything. You see prices, and there's also Hug-A-Bunch, which was another rip-off brand of Cabbage Patch Kids. You've got Punky Brewster, Barbie, Gumby. So we'll see all that down here. Care Bears, Mickey Mouse, all these branded watches. You got Cat in a Hat. Wow. Yeah, I don't think this is a thing anymore. But it's a lot of fun. I could see a collector just collecting watches and that's it. You got Popples here. You got, I don't know if that's Quickie Koala. Let me see. Number 10. Koala the Koala. I don't know what that is. Yeah, all sorts of brands I don't even really know. Like Ellie the Elephant. There's another Popple at 12. There's Garfield at 15. There's Thundercats at 16. 17 is He-Man. 18, I can't make that out. Labyrinth. Labyrinth watch. You're not a true Labyrinth collector until you get the Labyrinth watch. What's number 13? Pound Puppies. Pound Puppies watch. And Strawberry Shortcake. You got the classic Mickey Mouse with his hands being the hands of the clock. Oh, the 1980s. Brands were the biggest thing in the 80s. Branded timepieces. So this is Mickey Mouse. That's a fun thing where his legs go back and forth like a pendulum. You got more Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck stuff. Garfield was a huge brand at this point. Meteoric Rise as compared to Heathcliff. I've always been a Garfield man and not really much of a Heathcliff guy. There's a Crayola clock. Some Crayola clocks there. A fun Sesame Street one where he talks to you. Good morning, it's me, your friend Big Bird. The old schoolhouse clock says it's time to get up. That's a lot to say. Wouldn't kids get annoyed by that? Here's Muppet Babies, a big brand in the 1980s at J there. There's Snoopy at K. Popples are really trying to make the Popples work, eh? You see all the prices here to the right, and all the descriptions of all the timepieces. And here are the Potato Head Kids. They were supported by a Sunbow cartoon that was part of Super Saturday or Super Sunday, depending on what market you were in. Potato Head Kids, of course, was an offshoot of Mr. Potato Head. These are the kids of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Um, they were fairly boring. I mean, I don't know what their point was with all this. They had a clubhouse, they had a church, they had a school. um, I noticed that there's a new version of this called Tots. I see them at the Dollarama and stuff. Apparently they didn't work out, so now they're at dollar stores and things. And here's DoubleDooz. Some sort of weird. I've never seen this figure line before. It's so odd looking. And here's some prices down here. I want to take a look at this douchey giant dollhouse. Oh my gosh. Like, what a-hole bought their kids this? It's this big realistic. Look at this thing. I guess you can open out panels. It shows an inset there. Wow, that's insane. These things are like, what, $400 back then in 1986. Look at all the realistic furniture and everything. That's nuts. Here's more giant doll houses. Who had these? Like, it's craziness. All right, let's get into it. Here's My Little Pony. One of the giant big three from Hasbro. Of course, not my cup of tea, being a boy, but I acknowledge that My Little Pony was enormous. It was you couldn't keep it away from you. It was everywhere. Here you got the prices for these things and all the different characters. I don't really know the characters. I mean, like the newer ponies, I think are completely different. The ones from Friendship is Magic and all that stuff. But yeah, no, My Little Pony was enormous back then. If you had a daughter, you were buying the My Little Pony stuff. There's more My Little Pony to the left. Started as My Pretty Pony in 1981, around there. And here you see more realistic ponies to the right from another line. But here's more ponies to the left. Party ponies, I guess. They have party hats and things. Sweet Secrets was another brand that kind of lived and died in 86, 87, around there. They were jewelry that turned into people or something. I don't know if there was a TV special. There was never a show. I think there was a special. I'd have to look that up. I vaguely recall something like that. So these were all girls designed toys designed for girls, and everything was very, very gendered back then. So if you may recall, back in these days, they started with girl toys and then worked their way towards the boy toys as the grand finale, I guess. But here's Barbie of 1986. All the different. What's that one to the left of that group shot? It's like Ninja Barbie or something. I don't know what that is. He's like camouflage winter combat Barbie or something. I don't know. Do they? No, it's just a group, right? They don't say what the individual ones are. The Barbie Corvettes were cool. I always wanted one, and my parents like, oh no, like it's a girl's toy, but like I was just gonna put He-Man and stuff in it, right? But the Corvettes are great because in the 80s, hot cars were a thing, right? Car makes real motor sounds and lights work. Yeah, this seems like it's marketed to probably, well, anyone who likes cars. I was gonna say boys. I was gonna be an a-hole and say that, but here you got these different kinds of fashionable Barbies here and stuff. Ken with his molded hair. Glow in the dark Barbie. Wow. Yeah, Barbie. Look, I'm obviously I never owned a Barbie. But Barbie was huge. Barbie's still huge. It's a perennial thing. My cousins had Barbie and stuff. Here you got weird Kens. You got Sailor Ken. You got like a G.I. Joe-ish Ken to the right there. That's funny. You see all the different prices for 1986. You could calculate what they would be today with inflation. Here's more Barbie. Gosh. Is that like I don't know what kind of Ken that is at number 10, all these different Kens. There's Ken, Lindsay, Greg, Derek, so it's different guys. I like how they have to register Craig and Ken and trademark Derek. Yeah, 11.5 to 12-inch dolls. That's how big they were. I was always impressed with the articulation of these as just as figures, and the sort of rubbery skin that was over an endoskeleton. Um, because I never really knew what Barbies were like just as a thing. Like I know they were dolls, but I didn't really know how they worked. And my cousin, when I go over to my cousin's and look at her toys, I was like, oh, it's like skin over a thing. That's weird. That's not how a boy's toy was created. They were just a molded plastic thing and 5 POA and all that, right? You got Ken Casey got this big. This is pretty cool. Like um this big thing that opens out and it's like a bedroom or whatever. Two beds, not one bed you could put Ken and Barbie on. um, Here's more of the utility stuff where she's driving a car that drags a boat. That's pretty cool. Um, yeah, the vehicles for Barbie. People don't talk about Barbie vehicles. They're pretty neat. And really, they're so big because they have to fit these big 12-inch dolls that you could fit guys like He-Man and stuff in them, and they're driving a vehicle like this with a boat, right? And this cool like motorcycle thing. All right, here's Barbie and the Rockers. So what happened was Hasbro had some espionage going on with sorry, not Hasbro. Mattel had spies in Hasbro, and they gleaned that behind closed doors that Hasbro was showing off this new line called JEM. So they quickly got Barbie and the Rockers off to the races, and um, supposedly Barbie and the Rockers sold more than JEM. I don't know about that. I remember the JEM cartoon lasting longer than the Barbie and the Rockers brand. But here it's like Barbie has Rockstar dolls. I think they're gonna name them here, right? Barbie, Dana, Dee Dee, Diva, and Derek is their manager, not Ken. There was a cartoon special that was put on VHS packaged with the toys. I remember that. But there was never a Barbie and the Rockers show. Here's the Barbie and the Rockers vehicle. Barbie vehicles are awesome. I said that before. They are. They're underrated. you know, because they're giant vehicles. You can put all these characters in. Uh, you got more. I don't know, more Barbie stuff. God, Barbie's in. How many pages does Barbie occupy? My God, tropical Barbie. Look at this new vehicle. She could like drive around in a pool with these inflatable tires. Pretty awesome. Um, I think it's more Barbie. There's a giant Barbie dollhouse. God in heaven. Here's a Barbie scooter. Another Barbie house. It's different than this house, right? Yeah, no, it's another Barbie house. Here's the Hart family. I don't know what company this is, but it's basically Barbie. They have a giant dog. That's cool, and these little kids, and they're miserable. That's the story of the Hart family. They have their own little car here, and their little bicycle. And here's JEM. Truly outrageous. JEM and the Holigrams will rock you into a world of fantasy and fun. Yeah, JEM and the Holigrams is pretty cool. This stage can work as a piano. You can play it. Pretty cool stuff. You can also pop in a tape and have them sing the songs and stuff. Pretty neat. And you could carry it around like a guitar. What a great item. How much was this thing? I don't know. They'll probably say later on. Here's the Misfits. Their songs are better. Um, Here's Rio. He looks awful, doesn't he? It's because he didn't mold his hair, so his hair is like this big '80s hair. Oh my gosh. Here's the Rockin' Roadster, I think it was called. That's Barbie's car. That was in the cartoon. Um, yeah. So here's the holograms: Kimber, Aja, and Shayna. The Rockin' Gem Star Stage was $50 in 1986. Well, it would be a lot today, but like that's pretty good, actually. Um, There's a stage and wardrobe and everything. It's $10. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. $30. They made it affordable for parents. Here is She-Ra, Princess of Power, the sister line of He-Man. Literally, because she's the sister of He-Man. Here's this weird waterfall thing. I think my cousin had that. My cousin definitely had the castle at number 4. It was pretty neat. And I love the molding of it, that it's like high up on a mountain and the clouds are around it. Pretty cool stuff. Here are all the different mounts. Number 5 was, so it's Starburst, She-Ra, and Crystal Swiftwind. Yeah, so different variations of those characters. Here's a Sweet Bee with a Crystal Sundancer. All these names, man. Catra with Claudine. I remember Claudine. Peekaboo and Crystal Moonbeam. Yeah. And right in, because they were modeled like dolls, Robotech is here. Create your own Robotech adventure. Yeah, look, they're dolls. They're Robotech dolls. Pretty neat stuff. That's going to do it for part 1. Tune into part 2, where I go through more of this Christmas wish book from 1986 for all the wonderful Christmas toys of that year. Till next time, take care.